I'm going to talk about the layers of perception and how anybody can be aware of these different layers and why they would want to. So most people are in a very narrow perspective of reality. Okay, most of what they perceive is very like tunnel vision. They're in their thoughts. They're just thinking kind of the same thoughts recycled in different ways over and over and over and over. And they do this every day, every week, and they do it for most of their lives. Most people do. We're so hyper-obsessively focused on our prefrontal cortex right here, where all these thoughts are going on, that we've forgotten that there's the rest of this and way beyond. So when we get out of our heads, and we have to train ourselves to do this, and we can do it. It's just something you need to do and keep doing, and then it becomes automatic, because this being worried and stuck in your head all the time and stuck in anxiety is the result of you've wired yourself to do that without even knowing it. You've basically created a habit out of narrowly identifying with reality from a very narrow viewpoint, to the degree that you've wired that into your sense of awareness, and you've accepted it as normal. And it is normal, but it's a very, very small piece of what's there. And it's also very stressful for the body to keep in that place, to stay in that place where you're hyper obsessively thinking about the same things you've always thought about, but maybe in slightly different ways every single day, is stressful for the body. So when you train yourself to get out of your head, out of these thoughts, and you start breathing, and you just relax your body, you become aware of your body. You realize that you're not just some thoughts with a neck and then something dangling below it. You are all of this, and it's all working together in concert for you to exist. So when you get out of this one little me, here I am, this is me, my problem, tomorrow, yesterday, whatever, and you just calm down and you start to feel every other part of your body. Literally take the time to just feel and experience every part of your body, your heart, your organs, your internal organs, your limbs, everything. When you really, really get to be intimately aware of that instead of just your thoughts, then new layers of reality begin to make themselves clear to you. At first they're not so clear, but they become clear. And you begin to notice that a lot of where your thoughts are centered up here, for the most part, you feel like you're just aware up here. You feel like your awareness is just right here. But the more you start to intentionally dwell consciously in other organs of your body by just being aware of them, you eventually begin to have a sensation that you're not stuck here. You're actually not conscious just here. You're actually conscious everywhere. You have the potential to be conscious everywhere, or aware of whatever it is that is aware. Okay, and it's a mind warp when this begins to happen, and a lot of people resist this. They don't want to go into it because it's very awkward, it feels very strange, and it's something that people don't want to do for the most part because they're used to being in their comfort zones. But if you continue to do this and you make a practice out of it, then you really begin to realize and experience and have the awareness that you are conscious all through your body. Okay, it's almost like the heart, or the solar plexus, or they call them chakras, whatever. There's a lot of different names. Whatever you want to call them, or whatever words you want to give them, is irrelevant, because what they actually are is energy. They're literally energy. And so when you begin to perceive reality through these different aspects of your organs, they have their own viewpoint from within that part of your body. And so the more you, who you believe yourself to be in your little tiny me up here, the more you begin to shift your awareness and start perceiving through these different energy centers, you could call them, that are in your body, you eventually become conscious of your entire body. From there, the more you do that, the more another form of awareness begins to come in. It's not actually different, but it seems different. There's you, the awareness, there's you being aware of all these different aspects of yourself, of your awareness, but then it's like your awareness itself becomes aware that it's observing its own awareness. And that is really a beautiful and scary thing for people, because it feels like the part of you that's always been stuck in one place is dying or letting go or releasing, and it's afraid and it resists that and it doesn't want to do it. But if you continue to just face those edges of your fear that inhibit your ability to more fully be aware of the actual awareness that is perceiving reality through you. I know that's a lot what I said, but the more you work at allowing that to happen by letting up resistance to it and embracing it, the less unknown it becomes, the more familiar with it you get, and then eventually you begin to trust it and yourself in letting go in order to be more fully enveloped by what that is, and that it's already always there anyway. So the layers or levels of awareness that are related to this sensation of getting beyond, moving through the body, moving through all these different energy centers, and then having this awareness being aware of its own awareness, is very much like when that happens, you feel like you don't exist in many ways, but in a different way. You feel like you exist, almost like you are, what you really are doesn't exist here in this body. It's not stuck to it. It's just is. It's being. It's there. It's everywhere. It's all things at once, and it's anything. It has the potential to be anything. And the sensation of it in you is just a very calm, relaxed, fully encompassed state of awareness where the world is okay. Everything is fine the way it is. This is solid, it's peaceful, it's nurturing, it's healing. And it's the place where all healing comes from. So when we have sickness or illness or whatever, it usually has to do with the places where our awareness is not present. And so all these different layers that I've spoken of and suggested here in this talk tonight, if you do them, and you do them consistently, the parts of you that are blocked or that need healing will heal. They will become unblocked. This awareness is what makes everything heal. And when it's not there, stagnation, blockage, sickness, illness, those things occur. So just wanted to talk about this tonight and encourage you guys to try this at home. It's what's gotten me through every single thing I've ever been through, and it's also what continues to just give me so much optimism and love and hope and just such a sense of confidence that no matter what happens in this world, it is perfect. I mean, everything is exactly how it's supposed to be. And the only problem is the problem that we have with whatever we think or however the world triggers us. That's the only problem there is. There is no other problem, period, unless you have a problem with it. And when you don't have a problem, You can relax. You can be calm. You can be less stressed out. You can even be not stressed out at all, and that's where the healing is, and that's where the life is, and that's where everything is. I hope this helped.